All right, let's talk about something we've all felt, that sting of being offended. But what if that feeling, that hurt or anger, what if it's not what we think it is? What if it's actually a trap? Today, we're going to dive into a totally different way of looking at offense. So, the ideas we're exploring today come from the book Offenses Don't Take Them, and it puts forward a pretty challenging concept, really. It says that offense isn't just something that happens to you, it's something you choose to take. And if that's true, it means we have the power to respond in a whole new way. But before we get into all that, let's start with what we all know, that feeling, being offended. It's universal, right? And man, it can be really, really painful. I mean, just think about it for a second. You know that sharp gut punch feeling when someone's words just cut you deep? Or when you feel totally overlooked, completely unappreciated? It's powerful stuff. That one moment can hijack your whole mood, sometimes for days on end. And what do? Well, our reactions are usually pretty predictable, aren't they? You might get angry, want to lash out and hurt them right back. Or maybe you're the type to just withdraw, pull back, and put up a wall. Some of us might even spread a little gossip, while others just kind of swallow that hurt and let it sit there. These are like our default settings, Okay, but what if that whole way of thinking is just wrong? The book we're digging into today suggests a huge shift in perspective. It says that to really get what offense is, we have to look past our feelings and zoom in on a very specific biblical viewpoint. See, the author's entire argument really hinges on one big idea. The word offense we throw around today, well, it's lost its original, much more powerful meaning. We think it just means my feelings are hurt, but the source material suggests it's something way, way bigger than that. And you can see that right here. I mean, the intensity in this quote is pretty startling. Jesus doesn't say, "Ouch, Peter, you hurt my feelings." No, he literally equates what Peter said with Satan and calls that an offense. That's our first big clue that this word, it means something so much more than just a simple insult. So to really wrap our heads around that level of intensity, we've got to go back to the original Greek. And it turns out the word used there has nothing to do with hurt feelings at all. It's a word with a totally different and honestly a very visual meaning. That word is scandalon. And here's the absolute key. Its definition has zero to do with being emotionally hurt. Nothing. Instead, it's about a mechanism, a device. And this slide breaks it down perfectly. A scandalon had two main meanings. Okay, first, picture an old-school animal trap. The scandalon is the little stick that holds the bait. The second you touch that bait, wham, the trap springs. The second meaning? It's a stumbling block, like a rock someone deliberately puts in your path so you'll trip and fall flat on your face. See the pattern? In both cases, it's not a feeling, it's a physical obstacle set up with a purpose. So if an offense is really a trap or a trip-up, that leads to a pretty big question, right? Who is setting these traps and what for? Well, the author has a very specific take on the purpose behind it all. And according to the book, this isn't just some clever metaphor. An offense is framed as a real spiritual obstacle, specifically designed to stop you dead in your tracks. So the book argues that the thing we feel as a personal offense is actually what it calls Satan's trap or Satan's trip-up. And its goal, it's not just to make you feel crummy. The real goal is to stop you from moving forward, to trip you up and get you stuck in anger or bitterness or sin. So from this viewpoint, the person who said the hurtful thing, they aren't the real issue. The real issue is a spiritual dynamic that's just using that person or that situation as bait. Now, thinking about this way, it's a total game changer, isn't it? Because if an offense is just a trap that's been laid for you, well, that suddenly puts all the power right back in your hands. You don't have to step in it. You don't have to spring it. And this idea is right there in the title of the book. Offenses don't take them. The key word there is take. It frames being offended not as some passive feeling that washes over you, but as an active choice. You see the bait and you get to decide, am I going to take it? Okay, so how do you actually do this? The author lays out a really simple 3-step process. Step 1, recognize the feeling. Don't pretend you're not hurt or angry. Acknowledge it. Step 2, identify the trap. Reframe that feeling in your mind. This isn't just an insult, it's a scandalon, a potential trip-up. And finally, step 3, refuse the bait. You make a conscious, deliberate choice not to take the offense, not to let it into your heart. And this quote from the source really just sums up the whole idea perfectly. It doesn't matter who did it, what they said, or why they did it. According to this view, your one and only response is to keep that offense from getting into your heart. So we're going to leave you with this final thought, which really gets to the heart of the book's message. If an offense is nothing more than bait on a trap, specifically designed to snare you and stop you, do you really have to be the one to bite?